Every year, thousands of Android smartphones get launched in the market, and many of these are flagships which directly compete with the Apple iPhones. Yet, this smartphone is different than all of them. Firstly, it is being hailed as the best Android smartphone currently in town, and secondly, this one solely exists to destroy the Apple iPhones. But could it really do so? Well, if you don't know me yet, my name is Sid, and on my birthday, I treat you with my review for the Google Pixel XL. And barring the battery life and probably the screen resolution, my opinions and verdicts can be attributed to the smaller Pixel as well. But again, the question remains, can it really beat the Apple iPhone 7? Is it really the best Android smartphone in the town currently? And most importantly, should you be buying the Pixels? Well, answers to all that and more await you in my review, so be sure to watch the video in its entirety. Let's get started. So let's start by talking about what Pixel really is. You see, up and until this point, Google used to make smartphones but in collaboration with other brands, may it be Huawei, LG or HTC. Hence they were named Nexus. Pixels, however, are completely different because Google owns the Android software, and with this smartphone they own the hardware now too. This phone has been designed by Google, which basically means that this phone is what a smartphone should be according to Google. This is an ideal Android phone. But for me personally, the designing is not that ideal. You see, the problem with copying something blindly is that you do get the good features, but you forget to omit the bad ones. The phone looks a lot like the Apple iPhone from all angles. And iPhone's design is now 3 generations old, but it still works for the Apple iPhone. On Pixel, not so much. And the best example for this is the large bezel at the bottom. There is no home button like an iPhone, there is no capacitive row key like a Xiaomi device, not even a fingerprint scanner which Moto offers. It's basically just a waste of space. Apart from that, the whole designing makes Pixel look a very cheap phone for its price. But if you ignore that part, the edges are chamfered and the speakers at the bottom are uniquely shaped and are quite loud for an Android phone. Do note that I say Android because this year's iPhone has dual stereo speakers which are definitely louder. Coming now to the back, it is odd. Instead of going in for a full metal back or a full glass back, Google has employed both the materials. The lower half is metal while the upper half has a glass plating over it. And I would give it credit for standing out of the crowd, but the only bummer being that glass backs I believe are shatterable and breakable if not cased properly. Apart from that, the antenna band placement is a bit weird again. The bottom part reminds me of yesteryear's iPhones and the top one does not have any antenna bands, but they are visible on the sides. But again, Google skipped having one on the top. So overall, the design of this phone for me is mediocre at the best. But Pixel is not about designing, it's about performance. With the Snapdragon 821 processor and 4GB of RAM on board, this phone is definitely fast with whatever you do with it, may it be routine tasks or high-end ones. Even heating is not that big of an issue. But again, the phone scores in experience. This is by far the fastest Android phone I've ever tested. The app opening time, the multitasking performance and the swiftness with which you get back to the home screen, the speeds are unmatched. And the prime reason for this superior fluidity is the stock Android software. This is the second phone to ship with Android Nougat, but it has some exclusive features to offer. Starting with the changed design of the home screen thanks to the Pixel launcher, it now feels much more animated and alive. The familiar Google window is on the right swipe, but it is also present in a small button on the top. But my favorite feature of this phone by far is the new Google Assistant. It basically is an updated version of Google Now, which I've always liked considering it understands my accent better than the peers. However, now it even answers the questions better than the peers. Sing a song.
I can sing a song. I'll keep it simple, it won't last very long.
You can ask follow-up questions now. What do you think of Shah Rukh Khan?
That seems like an interesting topic. What do you want to know about Shah Rukh Khan?
How many movies has he done?
According to Wikipedia, referred to in the media as the Badshah of Bollywood, King of Bollywood or King Khan, he has appeared in more than 80 Bollywood films and won numerous accolades.
And be a bit more creative with your diction too than simply saying, what's the weather? Do I need an umbrella?
No, rain is not expected today in Gurgaon. The forecast is 34 degrees Celsius and clear.
Oh, and it gets activated now even when the device is on sleep. Okay, Google.
How can I help?
Moreover, up until this point, Google Voice did not have a personality like, say, Siri or a Cortana. But with Google Assistant, it has become very witty. Hey Siri.
I'm flattered, but that's not me. I'm your Google Assistant. What can I do for you?
Having said that, there are still times when it does act dumb. But it learns over time, and with adaptive learning, it will keep on improving day by day. Is Donald Trump winning the election? In short, Google Assistant for me is the best voice assistant on a phone right now, and it's one of the most novel features of this phone. And this novelty oozes out from all parts of the software too. May it be the small animation on the navigation button, may it be the updated setting menu, or may it be the new way to open the app drawer by swiping it up. All of this makes Android refreshing again. And software really is the strongest point of this device. Apart from the assistant, you get Daydream features for enhanced VR compatibility, you get a quick switch adapter, which apart from acting like an OTG for your pen drives and smartphone to access media, also makes migrating very easy. You can back up your photos, contacts, SMSs, even calendar appointments from your previous phones, even if it was an iPhone. But my top features of this smartphone are number 1, the 3D Touch alternative, which is there in the Pixel launcher that gives you app shortcuts with a slightly long press. Number 2, the split screen view, which makes the big screen more productive. I mean, who wouldn't want to watch a video while sending an email? And the third feature is storage. While the phones do come in limited storage capacity, which you cannot increase via microSD card slot, the phones do offer you Google Cloud inbuilt, which basically means that all your photos and all your video content would be stored in your Google Drive automatically in the original resolution it was taken at a frequency of your choice, of course. By the way, since we are talking about photos and videos, let me tell you, the cameras on this smartphone are superb. You get quality shots in almost all conditions. Outdoors or indoors, even the low light shots are well detailed. But what impressed me the most is the focusing speed of the smartphone. It's blazing fast. Moreover, while the phone does support 4K video recording, it doesn't have an OIS. But personally, I didn't miss the feature at all, because the EIS, the electronic image stabilization on this phone, which by the way works with the gyroscope, is better than the OIS on the Samsung Galaxy S7. In the close-up shots, the depth of field is pretty good, and even though the colors seem a bit boosted, the camera is the best one I've used on a smartphone for this year. I mean, look at the level of detail in this HDR shot, for instance. And if you ask me how does it compare to Samsung Galaxy S7, well, I would be uploading a video camera comparison of the two phones next week, so be sure to check that one out too. Heading now to the front cameras, it's by all means decent for selfies. But I've seen better ones on flagships this year. Also, I missed the screen flash on the iPhone 7 and the Galaxy S7 on this phone. Oh, and that reminds me, I didn't even talk about the screens. Pixel and Pixel XL come in two sizes. The Pixel is a 5-incher, while the Pixel XL is a 5.5-incher. The XL has more resolution than the smaller one, and the displays are of superior quality. These are OLED panels where blacks are deeper and the brightness levels too are decent even in the sun. Though it isn't as bright as the new iPhone if you take the nits into the account. And OLEDs are power efficient too, which now takes us to the last segment, which is battery life. Apart from OLED panels, software optimization works to Google's advantage too. The phone on average gave me above 5 hours of screen on time. In terms of day-to-day usage, it generally lasted for around a day and a half, which is great in this era of phones. Apart from that, you have fast charging as well. Though Pixel took around 2 hours to charge for me, it is still definitely worth it. If you compare it with iPhone 7 Plus, which took around 3 hours and 30 minutes. Lastly, the phone has a 3.5mm jack, whose audio quality might not be comparable to many other smartphones in the town, but hey, it does have one. So that sums up my review, and now it's time for me to give you my verdict on the phone. How's the phone? It's good. No, it's great. The optimization on this phone is top class, may it be battery life, may it be software, or may it be cameras. In fact, Android Nougat and Google Assistant are reasons strong enough to buy this phone alone. Yet, calling this the best smartphone in the town, or even calling it the best Android phone in the town, for me seems a bit of an overstretch for a couple of reasons. Firstly, in 2016, where even the Apple iPhone 7 is now waterproof, lacking this feature does pinch a bit. Secondly, the design of the smartphone is pretty ho-hum for the price it is being offered at, which now takes us to the third reason, the pricing. Google Pixel is priced at 57,000 rupees in India, and the Pixel XL starts at 67,000 rupees. And at that price tag, the phones do feel a bit overpriced. Now, I don't say that Google does not have the right to make an expensive phone. Heck, if Apple can, Google can too. But the point is, with a Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge being available at great discounts right now, with a better design, waterproofness and more features like, say, wireless fast charging, there are multiple competitors for being the best. To sum it up, Google Pixels are smartphones for someone who loves Android and can accept the compromises that this phone makes, or for someone who has a wallet big enough to afford them. Now that's what I think of the Google Pixel XL. Do tell me in the comment box below what you think, or if you have any questions about the device. Also, feel free to wish me a happy birthday. Meanwhile, do not forget to like this video, do not forget to share this video, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. My name is Sid. I'll see you soon. Ciao.